वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we continue with our study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, King Chitraketu meets the Lord chapter entitled, and this is the living entity speaking. Everything in this life is help us to realize our true potential. So here, like time is also under the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, material nature under the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, karma under the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, and all living entities under the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. Up until like all the living entities in this universe, everyone under the shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, and everyone and everything is directly or indirectly guiding us, helping us, wanting us to become Krishna conscious, fully Krishna conscious. And very interesting phase. So, like it says in the yesterday's class and this translation purport, commodity changing hands. I sometimes wonder, now we are very much going into a cashless society, right? Very much into a cashless society. Not many people carry cash or coins with them. More is dealings with cards. But still, see a 10 pound note or a 20 pound note or 5 pound note or even a coin. In one day, how many pockets does it enter? In one day, how many purses or pockets does it enter and come out from? 10 pound note, like in the morning, it could be in some gentleman's purse pocket, then goes into some shop still. From there, it may go into another gentleman's pocket. From there, it may go into a lady's purse. And from there, it may go elsewhere. How many times maybe the 10 pound note could be circulating? And from there, it may go outside of UK also. It may go Sweden, somewhere in Europe, and it may go all the way America or wherever, just in one day. Say, now who is the actual owner? Who is the if the 10 pound notes? Imagine if I am the 10 pound note, what would my head be like? Bonkers, maybe, huh? Or sometimes for 30 minutes, someone is claiming me that I am your boss, I am your owner, you belong to me, and then passing it to me to someone else. Passing it to me to whom? To Marks and Spencers. Then Marks and Spencers takes it and passes to where? Tesco. Tesco passes it to Sainsbury's. Huh? How many? This 10 pound note, imagine the life of a 10 pound note, daily basis. So much of circulation could be there. Likewise, many other things, no? Many other things we see. Just transferring of ownership and transferring there. Who is the real ultimate owner? Mm, Here in the living entity is saying whose mother, whose father, whose. See, coming into Krishna consciousness, no, it is out of ignorance. It is out of ignorance, incapacity, ignorance, that we do not remember our past lives and we do not remember our previous mothers and fathers. Hmm? So we have developed naturally a sense of detachment because of ignorance, lack of knowledge, and not knowing. And now Krishna wants us with knowledge to develop a sense of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean being cold hearted. Detachment doesn't mean being cold hearted, or detachment doesn't mean being running away from responsibility, shying from responsibility. No. But with knowledge, live in this world with detachment. Such a blessing. We cannot serve our mothers and fathers from past lives. But at least in this life, if one mother and father we can serve, also with a sense of detachment, with a sense of understanding to begin with that I belong to Krishna. And furthermore, everything and everyone belongs to Krishna. So, with that sense of knowledge and detachment, if I can behave in Srimad Bhagavatam, overall Vedic literatures, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, instructions and teachings are there. It is a behavioral world, so something for us to help to how to behave in this behavioral world, and also some tattva, some philosophy, some absolute truth to understand. Like Krishna says, Mata parataram nanyadna kinchit asti dhananjaya. Mai sarvamidam protam sutre mani ganaiva. So Bhagavad Gita 7.7, we understand. He says that everything is resting on me as pearls strung on a thread. Hmm? Now, this is like something, a siddhant, a principle, a tattva Krishna is revealing to us. And apply this, thinking this in our, we try to embrace it in our consciousness and bring it in our life. But a direct kind of behavioral instruction for Krishna gives us in Bhagavad Gita is what? Matra sparshas tu kontaya sitosna sukha dukkada. Agama painyo nitya stam titik bharata. 2:14 he says like learn to tolerate without being disturbed. So that is something how to apply in behavioral world as a teaching, as a learning, as an instruction. But when Krishna says that Janma karma che me divyam evam yoveti tatvata. So that is like Krishna is revealing himself. So two side. One is like on the behavioral, something for me to apply, to understand and put it into practice and behavioral. And the other is the goal driven, Krishna revealing about himself. So likewise in here in this translation, the living entity Jiva, uh, born from the dead, risen from the dead, and he's helping us out to be Krishna conscious. Not sure in how many days he rose from the dead, but yeah, risen from the dead and helping us out to be Krishna conscious. Now, what would be the human population like in this world currently? I believe 8 billion, perhaps some somewhere around 8 billion. Now, 8 billion human population. A few living entities are. I'm just going through translation a bit. Few living entities are born in the human species, and others are born as animals. A human is the most smaller, even out of like this 8.4 million species of life. Human form of life is just how much? 400,000. So even out of this, so it's such a small proportion, such a small ratio. But because we are the higher living entities, we are the bad guys. Believe it or not, we are the bad guys actually. And there's lots of research, lots of stats also to support that, that we are the bad guys. Now, but we have been given higher responsibility, higher opportunity to attain the highest, to attain the highest attainment. Now, the rarity of this human form of life, in a way, of this 8 billion human population, how many, I wonder, how many would be following one of the four regulations? So the four regulations are no meat eating, including eggs, onion, garlic, no gambling, mm, no intoxication, including like caffeine oriented tea, coffee, and all, and no illicit relationships, and even no illicit relationships also with some considerations there. Uh, uh, no gross or subtle level, say. So, how many we think of this 8 point around 8 billion human population, how many we wonder could be following one of these four regulations? This is just roughly I'm speaking. I haven't gone into any of the research institutes and seeing, and I'm not sure if anyone does research like this, that how many is following the four regs. But just something for me to understand, for something for me to help appreciate this human form of life, appreciate sadhu sangha, appreciate devotional service. Let's pick a number in the air, say maybe 4 billion. Hmm, maybe a bit a big number, but let me start with 4 billion. Say half of the world's population could be following one of the four regs. Then How many could be following two regulative principles? Could be any two. How many? 2 billion? How many could be following three? How many could be following four regulative principles? And on top of that, how many would be chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare? Very rare, very rare, uh, very rare. And also following the regulations in the proper sense, following the regulations in the desired proper sense, and chanting Hare Krishna also properly, attentively, with the right mood, with the right understanding. Wow, even rare. When something is rare, it is very much cherished. It should be cherished. Auction happens, right? uh, People are very much into, some of them like auction, antiques, and also auction happens. This is rare. So if it is rare, the value is high. If something is rare, the value is high, and then there is media coverage also for it. That some painting in some museum, rare, old, sold at a very high price. So if something is rare, it is very precious. Now, human form of life is very rare. Out of 8.4 million species of life, only 4 million, oh, not even 4 million, only 400,000 is a human species of life. 8 billion is the human population, but overall population of living entities, negligible, negligible. And of this 8 billion human population, how many are actually following the four regs? Leave spirituality aside. Still, these regulations make sense, doesn't it? Who has benefited from intoxication? Any person in this world can claim that, yes, oh, intoxication has made me very sober. It has helped my relationship with my children, with my parents, with my partners. This is material world confusion, throughout confusion only. Who has benefited from illicit relationships? So, the rarity of the human form of life has to be understood. We all are transferring, we all are transferable, all of us, and we all are like faultly thinking that we are the real owners. Again, imagine, like, I try to see a 1 pound coin in one day. How many pockets does it enter? How many pockets does it come out from? So many owners for a 1 pound coin. This is mine, this is mine. So we understand, like, thing utility is its principle, right? 1 point coin is to be used. Yes, 10 pound note is to be used. And why we take 10 pound note to be authorized? Because we understand it is government authorized, government sanctioned. It is not fake. It is not dodgy. It is properly printed. It is correct. So, and it has got its transferable value. So we use that as its transferable value to get what we want out of it. Hmm. As long as that is the thing, okay, it is something for to be used, to be taken care of. Something come to me, and I should use it properly. So human form of life, something come upon me. Yeah. We all we all now know our date of birth. So now we can plan, where do I have my happy birthday party? Where do I want to celebrate my happy birthday party? Then I can plan the timings also. When do I want to start my happy birthday party, right? Then I can plan this as well. Who do I want to have in my happy birthday party? Who do I want to see? Who do I not want to see? It's happy birthday only, right? So I can decide, I can plan all this. Where do I want to celebrate? With whom do I want to celebrate? When? So much so, dress code, so much so, games, plans, themes, uh, and feast, food, everything around it. But did I actually decide my date of birth? Did I actually decide my time of birth? Say? Did I actually decide my place of birth? Did I actually decide, say, my parents, or when I kind of come out, who do I want to see and all? In a way, yes. In a way, no. In a way, yes. As in, yes. I always have this freedom, the choice. Yeah. How do I want to live my life? How do I want to shape my life? And based on that, I'm creating new bodies. Further, dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Even in this life, child body and growing up, the body is changing. So how one lives, the body is one, or he or she is kind of influencing the decision. So definitely has a role to play. But when we come to the end, as in our life is over, say this human form of life current, Shishikharantai Mayapur Sashiki Jai. So then, when this current human form of life is, say, over or taken away, then I do not have that choice. Then I have to sit back. I have to watch. Okay, Lord Brahma, Lord Yamraj, now they will assess the report and let me know where to next life take birth, who will be my parents, and when, and what form of life will I get. But as long as I'm residing in this body, especially human form of life, I have the option to exercise how do I want to live my life. And then there is a waiting period. In the sense, while giving examination, 3 hour examination online or hard copy examination, the student, he has the right to write whatever he likes and everything. At that time, he has full freedom. Okay, you can, it's exam time, prepare. Once the exam time is over, sheets is over, they're taken away by the teacher. Then the student has no more. Then wait for the result to come. We'll let you know. And you had been given time enough to prepare in your school, college, uni. Enough time was given to prepare. Now 3 hour is the time. Sit for your exam. 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever is the time. Sit for your exam, and then wait for the result. So human form of life, we are given enough of time to prepare, and that is the final examination. And then rest in peace. Very well. So if we can appreciate them, if we struggle any one sense, see, like, right, we started like time should remind us of Krishna, material nature should remind us of Krishna, karma should remind us of Krishna, every other living entity should remind us of Krishna, Paramatma should remind us of Krishna. Uh, Time himself says, na, in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarva Harashchaham, that I am not, I am dependent kind of, I am under the shelter of Krishna. Material nature says, na, that Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Se Characharam. So I am not acting independently. Maya Dakshina, under Krishna's supervision and will. Karma also says in Bhagavad Gita that I am not independent. Hmm? Living entities as well. Uh, and Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Krishna himself says that Brahma, Paramatma, or Brahma, they all are again under the shelter of Krishna. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti sabdyate. So Krishna is the whole and sole authority. So everyone is helping us. Now we see like how beautiful all the philosophical understandings very nicely tied in Bhagavad Gita. Nasate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhayorapi drishtvantas, tvanyostvatvadarshibhi. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita 2:16. Actually, the real message kind of starts from here in Bhagavad Gita, and very fascinating message Krishna gives. And see, as a perhaps kind of a side point, but not at all a side point also, see the humility of Krishna. First, I will speak a bit on the humility, then try to little bit understand this shloka. So, na sate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. Ubhayor api drishtvantas. Then tva anayos tattvadarshibhi. Krishna is saying tattva. Any shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, some shlokas become really important wherever the word tattva comes. Check it out. Wherever tattva comes, it is a very significant shloka. Wherever this Bhagavad Gita, wherever mai, mam, aham, mat comes, It's an important shloka. Krishna directly speaking. So those are like direct messages Krishna revealing about himself and revealing the transcendental realm, the transcendental personality. You know? Krishna's name, form, pastimes, paraphernalia, entourage, uh, dham is all transcendental. So wherever he reveals like that. So Tasmad is also wherever Tasmad comes in some shlokas. Tasmad is very important. Tasmad therefore, because it is giving us into a turning point or coming into na atato brahma jigyasa. Therefore now is the time to inquire. Therefore is very like okay now then having gone through something now take stock now see check. So in here uh, Tvanayos Tattvadarshibhi. Look, Krishna is not saying that Arjuna, that to Arjuna, that look, Arjuna, I am saying this. Out of humility, he is saying Tattvadarshibhi. Those who are seers of the truth, they have concluded through their research and everything. And whenever we say research, it is not like gross research on matter objects. This research is more internal contemplation, internal meditation through the consciousness by being in connection with the divine, with the supreme, with the universe, with the divinity. Through that consciousness, through that, then revelation. So the seers of the truth have revealed this, hmm, the absolute truth, or they are revealing what? Na sato vidyate bhavo. So that which is asat, which is temporary. Does anyone know the translation? Something like of the temporary. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Yes. Uh, That which is existent has no change, and that which is changing is temporary. Wow, fascinating. You know, that which is has got existence is eternal, no change, and that which is changing is temporary. Now, in our lives, there is one thing which never changes. Everyone's life, one thing which never changes. What is that? Yes, Prabhu. Our perception of ourself perhaps might change also in the sense perception also is a bit subject to change or like I'm perceiving myself something this and then well something this sometimes I'm perceiving as body sometimes as mind so perhaps maybe changeable but if one is very much fixed in his sambandhi or in his real identity then yes not so changing. There's one thing which never which is very fixed up in us very nicely ingrained in our head, very nicely, and it is called yes, Panchatattva Prabhu. To serve, yeah, that is also fine. To serve, we all are bound to serve only. Now it depends if I'm serving pure love or if I'm serving lust. That is another thing, but to serve. The one thing which is changeless is the desire to be happy. The desire to be happy. All of us are seeking for this, not just happiness, to be ever happy. Even if I want to have a rough night, an adventurous night, still I want to be happy out of it. I want it a very rough, adventurous, exciting night. Hmm. Oh, birthday party 21st, let it be the most wild party. But in that wilderness, I don't want to be stabbed. I don't want to be like robbed off. No. I don't want to be going through some accident. No. So this desire to be ever happy which is changeless. Now it is the soul's desire to be ever happy. Body is temporary changing. So this they have concluded from their meditation, from their experience, from their realization. And such a message. And Krishna's humility, he's not directly saying that Arjuna, this is the thing. Tattvadarshi, the seers of the truth, have realized this. And this is what we should also be working upon or wanting. Uh, So time is very, very, very important, very crucial. So how do we shape up our life? Like there's lots of things, right? Stress management, anger management, relationship management, this management. Uh, but if I can manage time nicely, wisely, productively, uh, or if I can manage, say, protecting my association, then life will be changed altogether. If I can learn how to manage time nicely, which can be learned, everything can be learned through good association. Through good association, everything will come about. Now, just speaking on this time and life, death and life subject matters. See, residing in Krishna consciousness, residing in Karuna Bhavan, practicing Krishna consciousness with such sweet, loving devotees in your company and in your kind encouragement, uh, you would have noticed that I've advanced so much now. Again, speaking with humility also. So, thank you. Yeah, and seers of the truth, right? So, one thing I'm seeing, and again, being in your company, somewhat I'm able to see into the future also. So one thing I'm clearly seeing, that that is approaching all of us. That is approaching all of us. And tell you something, when are we going to die? Hmm? When are we going to die? I won't let the exact date, time, place, but something to give you a very clear picture, a very clear, broad, sufficient enough picture. Uh, we are going to die Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In between one of these days. And in between one of these hours. That is sure. So the strike of death is very, very sure. It is going to come. It's just a question when. When will it come? That is another thing. But it is going to come for sure. So now, if something is like a bit too uncertain, there's not much point like when. Hmm? Like we were discussing, right? That we have to learn to die before actually die. We actually die. We have to learn. There's this Scottish comedian, I believe. George Billy is his name, maybe if someone knows our Panchatattva. There's a prominent Scottish comedian, and George O'Connor, Billy Connor, thank you. Oh, Billy Connor? Connolly, okay, thank you. I believe it could be him. A very nice thing if it is him, he said. Uh, and there's good learning of philosophy in it. He says, like, or someone says that I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. It's just when it comes, I don't want to be there. Yeah. So, yeah, we should have no problem with that. And the sooner we make a friendship with that, that's fine. It's just when it comes, I don't want to be there. So now, who is that I? And if I've already died before the final strike, where is the death? Death has access only to the body. Death can access no more than the body. Death has access to the body only. But through my consciousness, if I have elevated, and bear in mind, this is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So through my consciousness, if I have elevated, if I purified my existence, my body, mind, soul all together towards the absolute realm, where has that got any access? That has got no access then. No access. That is only taking the body away. That is the role Krishna has given. But because if I live in bodily identity, then that has all access over me. All access over me. But through my consciousness, if I have elevated myself to Krishna consciousness, then that is just a formality. So, yes, I have no problem with that. It's just when that comes, I don't want to be there. So now is the time. Whenever it comes, we don't want to be there. We don't have to be there. If I'm elevated myself to my consciousness. Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manusyamarthadamanityamapi iha dhira turnam yate tanumrityu yavad nishreyashaya khalu sarvata vishaya swasyat. We see this in 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam 11.9.29. Labdva sudurlabham. Labdva means having attained. Sudurlabham, very difficult. Idam bahu sambhavante. Bahu means many possibilities. Manusyam arthadam anityam api hadira. Beautiful. Manusyam, use human form of life. Arthadam, having very value. Arthadam, having very value. Anityam means temporary. Even though temporary, but very valuable. So someone dhira, someone sober, if can respect this human form of life by becoming a bit awakened in this human form of life. Slowly a bit more awakened and then transcendentally becoming awakened in this human form of life. Manusyam arthadam anityam api iha dhira. Turnam yateta na pateta nu mrityu yavat. Turnam is like very quickly. So anyways, turnam yateta na patet, before it falls down, before the human form of life is taken away. And death is sure to come, that we are being followed by death. But if I change my course of my destination all the way to Golok Vrindavan, then that will be just searching, and we have went elsewhere. That will be just searching around. Otherwise, sense gratification is available in every other species of life, And here we should be going for the nishreyasayas, for the ultimate benefit, and that is expected from a human being. To be the Vedas, by default, anyone who is a human is expected to have intelligence. And that intelligence can be further perfected in saintly association. Okay, on this note, maybe I'll take a pause if there are any questions, comments, corrections, clarifications. Yes, Javad Prabhuji.
Thank you very much for the class, Prabhu. Just really on that last point, that that in comparison to all of the different varieties of material enjoyment, then the enjoyment that's available in Goloka Vrindavan is like so superior that it's intelligent to devote our energy to attaining that goal. However, even within the society of devotees who agree that that is the ultimate goal, there are so many different opinions about how to arrange our life to make that the ultimate priority. And therefore, considering that the ultimate priority is so important, then how much time should we spend in like discussing the different ways of attaining it, and rather should we, so how much time should we spend on that?
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice question. Brainstorming question, isn't it? How much time and how to, we know what goal or aim we want, but now the navigation of it, how, somewhere that is the question, right, Prabhu? How?
I've acknowledged that goal for 35 years, and I've sometimes I've just been like really fixed on it, But on other times, I've felt that it's been my duty or to um, discuss with other people what's the best way to arrange a situation of practical life so that other people can attain that goal.
Nice.
But if the goal is so important, then really, should we not just individually make that decision for ourselves?
The best way is again respecting time. So morning program, respecting the morning program, doing good japa in the morning program. When we chant Samsaradava, Guru Vastikam, Vrinda Devi's prayers, if we can chant with mood, if we can chant with understanding, clarity, the message, and also give our heart out into it. So that is one of the best way. One who has respected the morning hours. You know, in English there is this saying, morning shows the day. Morning shows the day, right? So when I respect the morning program, then the modes start in from 9 a.m. or around the modes of passion start in. But before that, I have elevated my consciousness. And with that consciousness, I can uh, look into my day schedule. And the best ways is tell you what? The best way is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So reading, hearing, chanting, that's the core, that's the fundamental. So they doesn't end in the morning program. It's just the beginning of it. Then during our daytime, some services, alongside services, some reading, some hearing, listening to kirtan, and mm, we should take some breaks or time for ourselves. In the sense, before going to bed, it should never be like okay, falling flat on the bed and started snoring. No, before going into the bed, giving some time to myself to read, to listen, to hear, prepare myself, and during the daytime as well, as much as I can. And then, first, if how much ownership can I take for myself? How much do I value myself? Firstly, I am the living entity residing in this body. So, firstly, if I can work upon myself, and if I am thoroughly working upon myself, then that will be pervaded, that will be spread out amongst others as well. We all are influencing or being influenced by each other, but it is the subtle which rules over the gross, as in the mind rules over the body. Now, someone could be very much in bodily identity, but if I'm elevated myself in through my consciousness to a finest, subtle consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then that influence will be coming upon others as well. That inspiration, encouragement, hope, clarity, path, navigation. And these are what saintly people, they know the pitfall in lives, where the dangers, where is the mines, and where is the uh, right path to go. Where is it an icy path and where is it an okay path? And even if it's icy, they know how to tread over it, how to walk over it, walk through it without getting attached, without getting stuck. It's of course an uphill task, and there are going to be many junctions. But thing is, how can I not get attached? How can I not get stuck somewhere? That is by taking real good association. One who is very clear in his vision, one who is very clear in his focus, one who is treading along. And then if I follow the tail, if I follow that personality, then yes, then in that direction only. So respecting the time, respecting the morning program, very important. And throughout the day also, respecting the time. And I will fall. That's fine. Even if I do not I come up with a plan, say, and I'm not able to fully execute it, which is understandable. But let me, if I can do 80% of it, 60% of it, 70% of it, and from there on, build it up, build it up. The more we perfect our vision, the more we perfect our aim, destination in life, then these small things will fit in. This will come about. If I'm driven by this vision, if I'm driven by this vision, that who am I? What do I want to aspire? Whose am I? The highest vision, what Mahaprabhu is giving us. If I'm driven by that, then I will manage, everything would come about. If not overnight, then gradually would come about. Does it somewhat answer your question, Prabhu? Thank you, brothers. Okay, thank you very much for your any other final any thoughts or comments. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Sorry for running a bit over time. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Hare Bol. His Grace back to Prabhu Ki. Jai.